तापत्रयाप पादमौलिपर्यन्तं गुरूणाम् आकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ते सिद्ध्यन्ति च मनोरथाः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्. Okay, last time we started with Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya. We discussed the two types of two theories on the kind of srishti that happens. So let me share my slides so that it can help you remember. Okay. Yeah. So 1 minute. Yeah. So this is what we discussed last time, right? How there is a linga deha bhanga that happens for the fresh batch of muktas. Vayu, they all enter Vasudeva and they come out of Vasudeva. And we did not discuss this part. I'll come to this one a little later. But Vayu now becomes Brahma through Vasudeva. And Vasudeva is the rupa is the form which basically gets them into moksha. That is why he is called Nijamukti Pada Pradata in the shloka that Acharya mentions. The current Latavya, he basically enters Sankarshana and he emerges out of Sankarshana also after Pralaya, basically during Srishti, and now he takes on the Vayu position. All other souls whose sadhana is incomplete, they enter Pradyumna, and they get their Sukshma Deha, they lose their Sukshma Deha. If you remember, they all get their Sukshma Deha at the beginning of the Brahma Kalpa, and they lose it at the end of the Brahma Kalpa. Then, and here all forms of Lord merge into one Narayana Rupa, and just after when the Srishti is about to begin, they all emerge out of him, right? We talked about how different vyuhas of the Lord emerge out from the Mula Rupa Narayana. Now, so basically we said his one vyuha is the five forms, which is Narayana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Sankarshana. That is one vyuha. Then there is Dashavatara, right? That is another vyuha. Vyuha means collection. Okay. So there are different collections of these forms. I mean, they are meant for upasana and all those things also. That is why the meaning of collection is relevant there. Then there is, then we talked about Dwadasha Rupas also, because there is one stotra on Vishnu, right, which refers to this Dwadasha stotra. Not the Dwadasha stotra of Madhvacharya, Dwadasha Nama stotra is there. So that is one more. Then Keshavadi Durvimshati Rupa, basically the one that we use during Achamana, right? There are 24 forms of Vishnu that emerge out of that. Then there are basically many such Vyuha Rupas that emerge from Mula Rupa Narayana. So what this also shows us is that all these Rupas, right, are basically eternal. They are beginningless and they are without any end, right? It's not like they suffer Nasha or anything like that, the way our forms undergo. For example, my body or any of our bodies, they will get destroyed when we die, right? After that. And there is nothing like death for Narayana. That is the main idea there. So not just for Narayana Mula Rupa, but even for his Avatara Rupas. So that is what is mentioned in the Shastra also. And this is where again the common understanding is wrong. Okay, common understanding or the populace assumes that Rama and Krishna forms are impermanent, or they are temporary, and that Krishna, for example, had the notion of death, right? In fact, Bhagavata refers to Krishna's death in one place, and Arjuna is basically Mahabharata also talks about, Arjuna finding Krishna's body, and he will do Antya Samskara to Krishna's body, right? This is what is told there. Because all other Yadavas are dead by that time. Vasudeva, Devaki, and all these people are also not there. They are also kind of dead. They are also dead. And so Arjuna does the last rites for Krishna's body, is what is told over there. But then we are saying that Krishna's form is eternal. There is nothing that he has lost, or he is not taken, or this thing. So how do you explain that? So Acharya, in one of the works, right, in Aitareya Upanishad Bhashya, Acharya explains that Krishna's form is also eternal. He did not, he basically created one material form which looked similar to him. Okay. And he kept it there, and he, vanished, or he basically took that hunter who was there along with him, right? He took the hunter along with him to Swarga in that body of that hunter itself. Okay. So that hunter is none other than Bhrigu. Okay. That he's not, that if you, we'll get into this story in Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya later. But have you heard about this story? Basically, that he will think that it is some deer's eye or something like that, a deer or something like that. And then he will shoot an arrow. Then it will hit Lord's leg. And then, the Lord will bleed from there, and then he will die. This is the popular story. Have you guys heard about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Arrow made of kushagras, something you say.
That is the other, that is the reason why other Yadavas die, basically. The Kusha, this thing is how other Yadavas die.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. The Krishna does not die because of that. Balarama, for example, he will start meditating at the Yamuna river. One snake will come out of his mouth and then enter the river. And then he will, Yamuna or Ganga, I don't remember which one, and then he will die. Similarly, Rama is supposed to have shed his body in the Sarayu river. He will walk into the river, and then they will say he moved up. Things like that. So these popular depictions are basically told in, from a Loka Darshana Ritya. Okay, basically it is according to how people see them. But the Shastrakaras, basically, these descriptions are found even in the Shastra itself also. But there are correcting descriptions again found in the Shastra. For example, whatever I told earlier, right, it is found in Skanda Purana. Acharya says that in Skanda Purana, it is told that Krishna created a replica of his body, which is material in nature, and he kept it over there. And Arjuna, whatever last rites he conducted, he did it for that particular body. It was not for Krishna's actual this thing itself, because there is no death for him. So Acharya's all theories are, well established within the sacred literature, basically in the Puranas and, other places like that. And that is why, and then Arjuna does all of those last rites. The main point is it is not for the actual form. Another side note, right, that we can look at is that when Trishanku wanted to go to Swarga, right, in that body itself, he was denied permission. Vishwamitra had to force him, and Indra threw him out, right? That is why he came, and then he fell in some middle state kind of thing, some neither here nor there kind of thing, right? But look at Lord's this thing. He took that Vyadha, that hunter, in that very form, he took him to Swarga. That is Paramatma's capability. Okay, all those rules don't apply when the ruler of the universe says this is that's what needs to happen. Anyway, so coming back, the Krishna Rupa is also eternal, basically. So wherever we are talking about death or whatever it is primarily disappearance. In Bhagavata refers to avatara samapti and all those things, means completion of the avatara. So Acharya clarifies in Bhagavata Tatparya Nirnaya. He says that samapti means invisible to other humans. That's all. Krishna form is there now also. It was there even before Devaki and Vasudeva were there. So there is they are just the pretext for his form to come out, for his form to become visible to others. But it's not like he was born from them or anything like that. Acharya gives another quote. We will see those quotes here only. Okay. Na dasharatha jataha Na Jamadagnyat. He will say all these things. And neither from Jamadagni nor from Dasharatha. These avatars, they don't have any real parents. They don't have any parents. Okay. It is just a manifestation. Even Vedavyasaru, for example, he is born out of Satyavati and Parashara. They basically, when they consummate their act, right, marriage, he is born immediately. There is no 9 months waiting, nothing. He is just born there. Krishna also, he is born there. I mean, he will first appear outside Devaki's body. And that too with four-formed, as a four arms boy. And how can you imagine that he will die a regular natural death there, such a being? So people don't try to, adjust these things. I mean, they don't see the inconsistency in that position. They assume that, they accept that if the scripture says that, he appeared as a four-armed boy even before his birth, before, so-called coming out of Devaki's Garbha. But they are not able to see that, such a boy cannot die from a simple hunter's arrow. And what more, I mean, the same Lord's body, right? He has lifted his feet and he has been able to, to break the cover of one. He's been able to make a dent in the Brahmanda. That is the power his body has, right? Even a nail has. How can that nail be, such a foot be punctured or injured by one simple arrow? So people do not mix up these things and then see the inconsistency there. But when you see Shastra incompleteness and when you see Acharya's explanation, you will be able to see the consistency there. Okay. Anyway, coming back. So Acharya says that all forms of Lord are eternal, and this applies to, and then there is also all the Pratibimba Rupas of all infinite jivas also emerge then only. Okay, that is also told over there. Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
I didn't start my video. Okay. So from here we saw that there are two types of then all the Pradyumna gives all the Amukta Jivas to Aniruddha. Aniruddha gives them the Sukshma Sharira, and from there on we talk about we are supposed to begin the current class. Now see here, you are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So there are two types, two theories here. Mushti Srishti. The difference is that Mushti Srishti holds that all infinite Amukta Jivas get Sukshma Sharira, whereas only some of them get Sthula Sharira. Sarva Srishti, he assumes that, or rather holds that all Amukta Jivas get both Sthula and Sukshma and Sthula Sharira. These are the two theories that we talked about. And now from there on, so do you guys have an access to the Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya?
Yes.
Text of the Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya?
Yeah, hard copy also. Yes.
I do have.
Even if it is not there, it is there on dvaita.net, right? We had created that thing. The good thing is that we have created some references. I will we basically searched for all Acharya's references and things like that. So anyway, we'll use please download that thing from dvaita.net. You will be able to get many of them. dvaita.net. Okay. Now Acharya describes Vishnu here. Okay. So before we get in here, right? I mean, I use these shlokas for during my arti because they are such wonderful description. I would suggest that any person who is interested in doing any stotra, right, they should pick up these verses by heart and then use them wherever they feel like, right? They are so nice. But before we go there, right, what do you think is Vishnu? I mean, how when we say the word Vishnu, right, what comes to your mind, right? I mean, I'm sure that most of you had some idea before you started studying Madhva Shastra. So what was it then and what is it now? And how do you think the general public, right? How do you think, what is their understanding of Vishnu? Anybody wants to go there? Start. Can I have some opinions, please?
As of our knowledge, it is Vyaptate and supremacy. I'm just quoting two. And what others feel is Vishnu is one among the three Vishnu, Brahma, Maheshwara, all equals.
All equal, correct. Yeah. Okay, any other, this one? We'll come there. Any other one? Anybody? Any other opinions there?
People think Rama is different than Vishnu.
People think Rama is different than Vishnu. Okay. Then what else?
Vishnu is more like, kapati. Yeah, there is this perception. I mean, at least I have heard this perception, like,
Vishnu is kapati in the sense he is chalak.
Yeah, chalak, and like he twists, things. So especially like, the way Karna got killed, or like these things when they're comparing, right? He, Krishna, like deceived Karna, and even Duryodhana also. So this is, like more like opinion that they have. So which anyway, like, at least what I heard from others, like it's not like there is again, logic and reason behind it, like the way, like which is so based on, like what the Siddhanta says, like so. This is
but what do you think is this justification? If you look at it, right, he came as a small boy,
yes,
and he cheated Bali. Bali was a nice guy. I mean, after all, he was doing everything in a justifiable way, right? He tried occupying the heavens in a natural way. I mean, he tried to defeat Indra in the, in an honorable, respectable manner, which is like, fair and square, open fight. It was not, he did not cheat him or anything like that. So, but Vishnu, what did he do? He went in form of a boy, and then he tried to cheat Bali. In fact, I have seen this thing, especially people who worship this Onam and all those things, right? I mean, they think of Bali as one very noble king. Bali is a noble guy, there is no doubt about that. But for highlighting Bali's nobility, they kind of undermine Vishnu's act as Vamana. Okay, that is one thing. Anything else? And yeah, basically he is a kind of, you're right, he's some sort of street smart guy is what people think of Vishnu as. Thief. Okay. Womanizer. That is only in Krishna, no? I mean, what is Vishnu? When we say Vishnu, what comes to your mind, basically?
It's I mean, ever all pervading in the observable and non-observable universe. Something which is what you call infinite and vast, etc., etc.
Because you have studied Narayana Upanishad. Yatsakinchit durgat sarvam drushyate shruyate piva antarbahishta tatsarvam yapya narayana sthitaha. That is the meaning of whatever that is a sloka of meaning of which you just said. But anyway, that is one perception. Sarva-vyapi, sarva-jnata, then
Dosha, sarva-guna sampurna.
these are all Madhva conceptions, right? So the point,
omnipresent and omnipotent.
Omnipresent and omnipotent, yes. No, but what about the blue form? Nobody talked about the blue, this thing, right? I mean, he is a dark blue in form. He's sleeping on Ksheerasagara, right? Lakshmi is pressing his feet, I don't know for how much time now, right? And he's sleeping half the time, right? What are the other popular perceptions that you have about Vishnu? And yeah, whenever, and then he is supposed to be, as one of you told, right? He is supposed to be the person responsible, being responsible for sthiti, which is sustenance. Brahma is for creation, Vishnu is for sthiti, and Shiva is for samhara, pralaya, destruction, right?
And another form is like when he's with Lakshmi on Garuda and he's
and then he moves around Garuda and all these things, right? Now, and then
all the forms that whatever we try to imagine are all based on all the stories that we have heard from childhood.
But in reality, when we actually try to sit down, close our eyes, I don't know, maybe for somebody like me, it's very difficult and very abstract at the end of the day to even visualize what it is, what God is. In spite of, all having all these descriptions that he has got Shankha, Chakra, everything, it doesn't really come in front of our eyes in the true sense when we try to close our eyes also. I don't know, maybe others have different experience, but I'm not aware of that.
No, that is also right. We will come to, when you, the experience part of it. And actually, when Seshgiri is going to take his class, he's going to talk about dhyana related work, right? There we will discuss, what is the method that is prescribed in the scripture to do his dhyana. So whatever you are trying to do, right, which is like one full form at one time, that is not the prescribed method. Acharya says that you have to spend many years, many days trying to meditate on, one anga of Vishnu. Okay. And that also will be, that meditation will be quite interrupted, or it will be very intermittent. If you sit for 5 minutes, you will possibly think of him for 5 seconds or 10 seconds or something like that properly. Rest of the time your mind will anyway be on other things. This is, at least we do Gayatri Japa every day, so I know the situation myself. And the thing is that later, once you are able to contemplate or meditate on his forms, one part very closely, very easily, then you move to other parts of the Vishnu's form. And then after you do all of these things, then you should do the complete upasana of the full form. Then after that also will be interrupted. Slowly, once you have trained your mind and you have become, you have a lot of other vairagya and things like that, then your mind will be very easily able to settle on his complete form. And then finally, when you get aparoksha, that is when actual samadhi happens. Till then, there is no samadhi according to this thing. So all of these things will be told in the Seshgiri's work there, and he will tell you how to meditate upon him. But that is not our point. The reason why I wanted to ask this question about public perception, or our own perception, right? So I used to think Vishnu's form is blue in nature, right? Brahma is kind of golden or reddish, and Vishnu is bluish, and Shiva is also bluish, and Neela Megha, right? And sometimes, Shiva is even dark also. If you see Tinkle or Amarachitra Katha or any of these, that is how you will notice him. And he's always sleeping on this thing. So I used to think, why is he sleeping there? What is he trying to do times? Right? How long can you sleep, right? And how can you be sleeping and still be called Sthiti Karana? Right? So all these questions get answered by Madhvacharya's understanding of, or rather explanation of the Vishnu Tattva. Okay? So
also, the public perception about Vishnu is most chilled out person among the three, while Brahma sits and meditates, and Rudra sits and meditate. This guy just sleeps and has fun.
Especially during Chaturmasya, right? They say that he's sleeping for 4 months.
He's 4 months.
What does that also mean, basically? Right? So Acharya covers all these points. Okay. In Dwadasha Stotra, right? The 4th Adhyaya, he says his point in showing sleeping is to basically show that he is Sukharupa. That is the idea there. Okay. It does not mean that he is like tired or something like that, and therefore he is sleeping the way we do. Okay. That is point number 1. When we say he's sleeping, it is basically, one form in one place, he has just closed his eyes. That's all. Chakshor nimilnameva Vishnor nidra. He gives one quote again to prove this point. The point is that, so therefore he doesn't have any real sleep. The Upanishad says this. Okay. Anidram aswapnam. Does he have nidra, nor does he have swapna. That is how the Manduka Upanishad describes him. So therefore his sleeping or whatever it is to show that, he is full of happiness, because relaxed, the way you are talking, right? He's chilled out. To point out that he does that. Okay. The blue form is not untrue. Okay. The blue colored or whatever it is not untrue. But that is not the only thing. Okay. That is what people mistake, right? It is not the only thing. And that form is also there only in Vaikuntha, according to many people. But according to our Siddhanta, Vishnu is sarva-vyapi. Now the question is, the moment you say form, right? Form means there is some boundary in space, right? How does it, I mean, how is it logical to say there is boundary and also infinitely pervading? So the answer is that he has infinite forms. Each form is both finite and infinite at the same time. How is it? It is beyond our comprehension. It is not even logical in our comprehension. It is achintya adbhuta shakti. Okay, this is one of the first points which tells you that he is achintya. Achintya means he is, you cannot describe it. Okay, but since the Shastra insists that there is one such being who is both finite and infinite, you have to admit that. You have to accept that. Okay, you are finite. Okay, if the Shastra says you are infinite, then you'll have to ditch that Shastra. But Shastra doesn't say that. He talks only about infiniteness of Vishnu and in all space. And even Lakshmi is also infinite. And yet she is serving him. What does it mean? Why is she pressing his feet? Is he tired because of some, he did one marathon and that's why he's tired and sleeping somewhere? No. She is doing that to show that she is dependent on him. Okay? That is the reason why she keeps pressing his feet. And the other thing, right? Why is he holding those 4 weapons? How long will he keep holding them? Right? And why is he holding them? So for us, those are because those weapons indicate certain aspect of Vishnu's tattva. Okay. So for example, Chakra is there to show that he does dushta jana samhara. He is there to kill this thing. Okay. And not only that is external enemies, that he will kill even our internal enemies, ignorance, right? Our lust, all those things, right? And our, envy, Arishad Varga, whatever is there, he destroys that also. To indicate that he does that, he holds the chakra. Similarly with Shanku and, there are all these weapons or the, these artifacts, whatever he holds, they basically represent one aspect of Vishnu. And those are things that we need at all times. So that's why, when people say that, Vishnu as you, or, when people, whoever imagine this God, right? And in their time, these were the weapons around. That is why they imagine Vishnu with these 4 weapons. But if a modern guy were to imagine a Vishnu, he will perhaps put an AK-47 out there in his hands. But that is not right. He is not there. Those weapons are not there for protecting Vishnu. He is not, using them to fight something or something like that. He is using those weapons to indicate that he has a certain capability. And weapon is again a pretext to show that thing. He can, destroy somebody's ignorance or whatever it is without using a chakra also. But how will you indicate, right? I mean, you have to indicate this to people over generations. So when a Shastra describes that, he says that, it is like when we do our, coding, right? You use some words and then it means this particular thing there. Okay. So similarly, these words mean, whatever Vishnu holds, they mean something. And that is why that indication, that gesture or that communication is what is being told in the Shastra there. It does not mean that he is dependent on them. So now, and then second thing, most important thing, we all think that Vishnu's form is also like ours. Okay. When Krishna enters Mathura, right, for the first time, when Akrura gets him, right, he will get shaving done. He will get his nails cutting. What do you call this thing? He gets a nail cutting. He will basically get trimmed and, he manicure. He will get some manicure, pedicure, all that kind of thing he will get done. He basically, does good alankara and all these things, right? So that is all for his form. He will do all these things, right? And we assume that he's also having a material form like us. But that is the first thing that Acharya says is not the case. Nirdosha Purna Guna Vigraha Atma Tantraha. First thing is his Vigraha, which is his form itself, is the nature of flawlessness and Purna Guna. Do you remember what are these gunas that we talked about? What are the gunas?
Yeah, Ananda.
Jnana Ananda.
Jnana, Ananda. Anything else that you remember?
Tejas,
Tejas,
Balam,
Balam.
Gunapurnatva.
Sorry?
Guna Purnatva.
Guna Purnatvam. What are the gunas basically? What are the gunas which are Purna in?
Ananta Kalyana Guna.
No, correct. Ananta Kalyana is fine. They are infinite in number is fine. But can you tell more examples? We talked about Ananda, Bala, Jnana. Three we talked about.
Viryam.
Viryam, Jnana. All these things are his this thing. Okay. Jnana, Karunya, Pragalbhya. Okay. Then Shakti. They have small differences in their meaning. Then yeah, that's what his form is about. Okay. Then Atma Tantraha. Atma Tantra means Swatantra. Okay. He is Swatantra. Basically, all other gods, they are dependent on him. He is not dependent on anybody else. He is Atma Tantra. Then see, you will find many descriptions that describe Parabrahman as, na sthulam, na sukshmaha, na anuhu, right? And it basically says, if you go to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you will find many such descriptions. It says that he is neither large nor he is small. He is neither happy nor is he in pain. Okay. In fact, this kind of description is one of the reasons why other schools of thought, right? They think of Brahman as Nirguna. Okay. But there are such descriptions. How do you describe, how do you understand those descriptions? Nischetanaatmaka sharira gunaischa hinaha. Chetanatmaka means conscious, sentient. Nischetanaatmaka means material or, something related to matter, prakriti. Nischetanaatmaka sharira gunaha or nischetanaatmaka sharira or nischetanaatmaka guna. Our sharira is nischetanaatmaka. This is jada material. It does not have a consciousness of his own. It is not sentient. Whereas Vishnu's vigraha is not like that. So it is the lack of this kind of prakritic attributes or prakritic body that Vishnu has. Okay. His form itself is made of those gunas. Okay. It is not like, see, for example, when you say, let's say we refer to somebody as a very kind person, or when we say, he is very efficient person. Where does that efficiency lie, or where does kindness lie? In the mind or in the soul of that person, right? That is what is coming out. In Vishnu's case, his body itself is him. Okay. And so kindness is his body. It's not like kindness is sitting somewhere inside the body only somewhere, and the body is different from the soul. In Vishnu's case, all of them are same. So I'll ask one question here. Okay. I will come to this one later, with the next one. So all these description, na sthulam, na anuhu, or you will find, his form is not gross, his form is not minute, his form is not soft, his form is not hard. All these negative descriptions are there in the scripture. What are they negating? Are they negating absolute lack of form itself? That's what people think. But then, in fact, you can see it in the Guna, in Gita, Bhagavad Gita itself, right? In one verse, they'll say, he has eyes and ears and everywhere, infinite of them. And in the next sloka, the Gita says he has none of them. Have you people read that thing? Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. I will show you that one. Have you people seen this one? Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvendriya. Oh, 1 minute. Sorry. Sarvata Panipadam Tat Sarvato Akshi Shiromukham. Sarvata Shrutimal Loke Sarvam Avritya Tishtati. So he is having his eyes and ears everywhere. Akshi Shiromukham. Head is there, face is there, legs are there, hands is there, everywhere he is there. And his ears are everywhere. Next one. Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. So there are these negative descriptions also. So people don't understand how to reconcile both this, one very positive description and one is negative description. So, but in all other cases, right, wherever you find such conflicting descriptions, it is very easy to resolve. Okay, and we have done, and not just we as in Dvaitins, right? Vyakarana, all these cases, you say that, okay, one applies to a particular form of description, another one applies to a different entity. So when we say he has his eyes and ears everywhere, we are talking about his actual true self, which is the aprakritic thing. And when we say he absolutely has no indriyas at all, then we are saying that his indriyas are not prakritic. He does not have indriyas like us, right? For example, when I close my eyes, I cannot be able to see something. I can only see. I can only see through my eyes only. I cannot hear through my eyes. I cannot do other things with my other organs. They have a particular functionality. They can handle only that much. So all these limitations are there in the material, this one. And all of them, they undergo vikara also, right? They will basically, their capability will be limited. Their capability has a beginning, and they can also deteriorate over time, right? When we grow of age, we will lose our sight capabilities will reduce. Our tasting capabilities will reduce. All these things happen. So to denote that Vishnu does not undergo any such deterioration, best way to say it is that no, he doesn't have any such indriya at all. That is why Gita says, sarvendriya vivarjitam. And just in the previous way, it has said that he has all sorts of indriyas everywhere. Okay, so we this kind of conflicting descriptions, if we understand, then we will be able to understand Vishnu's tattva better. So Acharya says what they are meaning by when they say they don't have, Vishnu does not have anything, is any such indriyas or gunas, is basically nischetanaatmaka sharira gunaischa hinaha. Okay, he does not have any prakritik sharira or prakritik gunas. Then what kind of, then if he does not have a prakritik sharira, how can he have, what kind of form does he have? Is he basically formless? He is formless in the sense that, again, he does not have prakritik form, but he does have a form which is ananda matra karapada mukhodaradihi. Very important. Ananda matra, which means that it is unmixed by dukkha. Okay, only ananda is there. And what is there? And this ananda is his kara, pada, mukha, udaradihi. Okay, sarvatra svagata bheda vivarjitatma. So I will come to the svagata bheda vivarjitatma. That is one of the important concepts that we need to know here. Okay, but before that, so if you see, this is description of Vishnu. Which basically, this is how we should meditate upon him. That he is full of ananda. He does not have any, and his forms, each of his forms is also full of ananda. Ananda is just taken as a reference here, or it basically means all other gunas also. He has jnana kara, jnana pada, jnana mukha, and jnana udara, everything, right? Everything is ananda, jnana, balatmaka. Sharira itself is like that. So I'll ask you one question now, okay? Let's say this is Vishnu's right hand, or left hand, okay? And this is Vishnu's right hand. There is X amount of ananda here. There is Y amount of ananda here. So in total, he has X plus Y ananda. Is this statement correct or not correct?
No, if we are saying he's infinite, then everywhere it's infinity only, no?
Okay, so you are basically saying X is equal to infinity, Y is equal to infinity.
Yeah.
Very good. But so overall, he is experiencing X plus Y. His right hand will experience half of the total ananda. Is that the right way to say it? Both are infinite only, no denying that. But since we admit Taratamya in ananda, Taratamya in infinity also, right? We accept that there can be gradations of infinities.
But he doesn't undergo change. If he were to undergo change, that would...
No, that is fine. That is fine. Not undergo change is also fine. But his right hand ananda is half of full body ananda. Is that right or not?
No,
No.
since
No.
he is sarvavapta, and for him there is no gradation as such. So his ananda is unlimited, infinite, and I mean, it's more like, cannot be measured, like for him it is same. For him it is always same.
Correct. It is infinite is fine. It is infinite is fine. But I'm asking a mathematical question, sir. For example, let's say my right hand weighs half kg or whatever it is, right? I don't know the real one, but I mean, let's say right hand weighs half kg. My left hand weighs half kg, right? Both of them put together, it will weigh 1 kg. Mathematical, correct? Similarly, Vishnu's form, right hand has X Ananda. In X is equal to infinity is agreed. Left hand has Y Ananda, Y is equal to infinity is agreed. Okay? He sarva-vyapte, vyapta, that is also agreed. But both put together, does it mean that he experiences 2x Ananda, where X is equal to infinity?
No.
No. No, this logic, normal logic doesn't apply to this infinities or zeros.
That is one way to look at it. But point here is that, we admit that, for example, right, we can have gradation among the infinities. Okay. For example, the standard example that is given, right? I mean, there is a little bit of mathematical problem there, but standard example is that both the number of seconds in time, right, is infinite. Number of minutes in time is also infinite. But the number of seconds, the seconds infinitude is greater than that of the minutes infinitude. This is the standard example that is given. There, it is mathematically not correct, but rather of late it is not correct. But let's assume for now that that is how we accept the similar form of gradation within infinitude. So there is X Ananda and there is Y Ananda. Both put together is greater than each of those parts. Yes or no?
No.
Why not?
Okay. Because I'll tell my view. This
Right.
Ananda is incomplete. Okay. So there is no parts of Ananda in this whole pervading Vishnu.
There is not.
So
I didn't understand that one.
okay, even I didn't understand.
No problem. See, the answer is this only. Okay. That is the meaning of this next one. Swagata Bheda Vivarjit Atma, right? His infinite Ananda here in left hand is identical. It is not equal alone. Okay. It is identical to Ananda in the left hand, in the right hand. Okay. Not just here. I can take one portion here. Okay. And that portion Ananda is same as the full body Ananda for Vishnu. How is that? It is beyond our capability to understand that. Okay. That is why Swagata Bheda Vivarjit Atma. He is homogeneous. That is the meaning of the word sarva. Basically, Swagata Bheda Vivarjit Atma means devoid of internal differences. See, we have internal differences here. Okay. We have our hands can, for example, lift things. I cannot lift things with my eyes. Okay. I mean, later when gesture programming becomes possible, it is okay. But even then, I cannot lift things with my eyes. Okay. I cannot hear through my eyes. So there are internal differences. There are different parts that constitute the body. Each part has a particular capability. And those capabilities are not generally transferable. It's not that, when my, even in a blind man, right? It's not that his ears start seeing things there. They become more enhanced. That is a different thing. But it's not like the blind person's ears are able to see things, right? So there is no real homogeneous stuff over there. Okay. We all have internal differences within our own selves per se. Okay. Our own bodies. Okay. But Vishnu doesn't have anything like that. That is what is the main meaning of the saying Swagata Bheda Vivarjit Atma. Okay. There is no internal difference. His eyes can see, hear, touch, lift, whatever it is. Same thing his ears can also do, his mind can also do, his blood can also do, whatever it is, he can do everything, through every part. So he is truly, see, in fact, the word homogeneous itself is roughly an approximation, right? When you take water is there, right? When you say pure water, we basically assume that it is homogeneous substance, right? I mean, but if you go to the parts, there are two distinct parts. One is hydrogen and another one is oxygen. So the more and more you keep digging, right, you will find different types of parts. Electrons are there, protons are there. Further, if you go, maybe you will find, bosons, fermions, or whatever it is, right? But internal differences are there. One thing behaves in a particular manner, another one behaves in a particular manner. Both of them are collectively put together and then they behave in a certain manner. That's a different thing. That is, but that's why there is nothing of the matter is truly homogeneous. Even if you take, one electron, we do not know whether the negatives charge is spread uniformly across all of that electron. Okay, or even if it is spread uniformly, it means that the two parts have two different parts of the negative charge, and they both add up and become one thing. The concept of adding up is possible when it comes to material properties, but when it comes to Vishnu's properties, there is no such adding up. So his left hand Ananda is equal to his right hand Ananda is equal to infinity only. That is Svagata Bheda Vivarjita. Okay, and they can do everything. Eyes can also see, hands can also see, his back can also see, everything can see. Okay, then
so it all boils down to our human perception. We generally think all gods personify as a human nature or human body and have the minds and everything like a human. I mean, it's beyond that, correct? I think that's what you mean to say.
Yes. So see, one thing I want to caution here, right, which is that our conception of Vishnu is not an extension of our imagination about how a god should be. Okay, that basically this is what the atheists and all these people say, right? I mean, man created God in his own image. This is actually a twist on the biblical statement which says that God created man in his image. They put it around and say man created God in his image, right? So we all assume that God is human because we are human. He is a superhuman. He has more powers than us. That's what we have also extended our this thing, and we have imagined him like this is the general thinking. But that is not how it is. The Shastras tell him that he has these forms. Okay, and it is not only human. Okay, Narasimha is there, right? It is a mix of human and the lion or whatever it is. He has infinite forms. In fact, in one of the schools within Dvaita Vedanta, they say that he has forms which are equivalent to these Jada Padarthas also here. Okay, so but all these forms are invariably aprakrita. They do not have any material. They do not have any matter in them. They are not made out of matter. Okay. Did I answer your point?
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
So then he says, Kalachadesha gunatosya nachadirantaha. Okay, basically there is no beginning or no end to Vishnu, either from spatial point of view, basically, or from a temporal point of view, which means that he is there in all space, he is there at all times. And gunatosya, very important. From a guna point of view also, he is infinite. Okay. So see, this is important distinction. This is where, at least in my study, I found that you must have heard the line, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, right? This is the Taittiriya Upanishad description of Parabrahma. He is Satyam, he is Jnanam, he is Anantam. Satyam means they take that, it means that anything that exists, and Jnanam is that of knowledge, Anantam means infinite. Whereas we read that thing, Satyam means he is Nirdosha, he is Srishtyadi Ashtakartru, and Jnanam means he is omniscient, Anantam means he is Gunato Anantam. So wherever the Ananta comes, we interpret it as Gunato Anantam. Whereas Advaitins interpret it as Vastuto Anantam, which means that from Parabrahman is infinite substances themselves, he says that. So his pervasion is through becoming the substance itself. Whereas we say that his pervasion is through the quality. So wherever good qualities are there, Vishnu has pervaded that thing, which means that he has that quality. That is the meaning of saying Gunataha, he is, there is no end or there is no beginning or there is Vyapti. Okay. Vruddhi Kshayau, there is neither increment nor decrement. There is neither appreciation nor depreciation. He is always like that, and only he is like that. Naitadrishah kvacha babhuvana chaivya bhavyo nastyuttaraha. There is there won't be any person like him. There was nobody in the past, and there won't be anybody in the future. Okay, because his infinitude is so much different from or so higher than all other infinitudes. Even Lakshmi is infinite, but her infinitude is much lesser than Vishnu's infinitude. Okay, though both are Kalataha, Deshataha, they are both Ananta. But Gunataha, when it comes, Lakshmi is infinitely smaller to Vishnu. Okay. Then what are those other gunas? So Acharya says sarvajnaha. He knows everything in complete detail. Okay. Ishvaratamaha. Does anybody want to take a guess on what Ishvaratama means? Tamaha is generally used, right? Tama pratyaya is used, suffix is used to say best, superlative degree. Okay. Ishvaratamaha means best of the Ishwaras. What does this mean? Anybody wants to take a guess?
Above all other we know as gods. Does it mean that? I mean, he is more supreme than other devatas.
No, what does tamap mean? Superlative degree.
Superlative. Yeah, so he is the best.
See, if I say Shakti Tamaha, what does that mean?
That means there is nobody bigger than him.
No, when I say Shakti Tamaha, or you will basically say he is the strongest. Okay? Or Sundara Tamaha, if I say, it means that that person is the most handsome. Nobody else like him, or he is in the best there. So that is the meaning of. So what does Ishvara Tama mean?
Only supreme.
So the word Ishvara is important here. Ishvara means eat. Eat comes from the word eat samarthya. Okay. Capability. A person who is capable is called eat. Okay. Ishvara is the capability to rule over another person. That is the meaning of word Ishvara. Sarveshvara means one who rules over all of them. Or Nareshvara means one who rules over all of the Naras. Deveshvara means that only. Okay. So Ishvara word means overruling capability. Okay. So when you say Ishvara Tamaha, it means that guna, that quality of ruling over others is the maximum in him. Okay. That is the meaning of that superlative degree. Then again, Acharya says, he describes his body as sarva-shakti, purna avyaya atma-balat sukhavirya saraha. His body is again, his essence is that of bala, chit means jnana, sukha, virya, sara. You're able to see my screen, right? I'm referring to that one here. And then he says, yasyajnaya rahitam indiraya sametam brahmesha purvakamidam natu kasya chesham. When without his ajna, Lakshmi herself cannot be there. Okay. Even if he says that Lakshmi not be there, Lakshmi will cease to exist. Okay. So when that is the state of Lakshmi herself, what to talk of Brahma, Rudra, ityadi. And this is the situation when it comes to their existence itself, how can you say somebody can even rule over him? Okay, that is the meaning of this last word, Natukasya Chesham. So in this, Acharya has described Vishnu Tattva as extremely, infinitely Purna Guna. All gunas are there. He has no flaws, and his body is made of those gunas. His body is Nirdosha, and his form, Ananda, his form, right, which is hands, legs, face, everything is Anandamaya. Everything is Jnanamaya or Shaktimaya. There are Upanishad, he will give evidence for all of these things in the subsequent verses, which is what we will come to in the next listing. Okay. So in these three words, Acharya describes Vishnu Tattva, and then he goes to explain the Bimba Pratibimba Bhava between all of them. So the shloka there is, now you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
So see here, Nirdosha Purna Guna Vigraha Atma Tantro. You can refer to this one later. My point is that we will come to the more important point. Abhasakosya Pavanaha, Pavanasya Rudraha, Seshatmako, Garudayevacha Shakrakamau, Vindreshayos Tadapare Tvanayos Rishyadaya Kramashavuna Gunashatamshat. So then Acharya refers to how Pavana, that is Vayu, is Abhasaka. What does the word Abhasa means in Kannada or in any language that you know? Abhasa means what?
Imaginary thing. You feel
Imaginary.
something.
Sorry?
You feel something, not
real.
Yeah, right.
No, not real, right? Abhasa is basically it's an imagination, it's a chimera. It is not real. That is the meaning of the word Abhasa. In Kannada also Abhasa means that, right? Adon the Abhasari, they will say. Yeah, that means that it is just some, that is how it will appear, but it is not really there. Anybody else want to take any other meanings that you know of?
I mean, if you reflect, literally take it like, kind of to put it in real world, like seeing a mirage, again, like it is an imaginary thing, and we end up seeing, which can be like in a reflection also. So, I mean,
So
like,
that is what in Sanskrita it means many things. Okay, abhasaka means it looks like it. Okay, that is the only meaning of that one. It does not have any meaning. It also has the meaning of illusory, but that is not the case always. It only means it is like that. It is similar. That is the meaning that it comes over there. So even the sense of illusion comes from because of that only. It appears to be like that, but it is not like that. But it is not like that. Is what says that abhasaka makes it abhasa means unreal. But the word by itself only means reflection, okay, or similarity. So Acharya says that abhasakosya pavanasya rudraha seshatmako garudayevata shakrakamau. So he says Vishnu's immediate abhasa, that is pratibimba, reflection, is pavana. Pavana means Vayudeva. And basically, by putting Vayu there, he is talking about Brahma and other Rujus also. And pavanasya rudraha seshatmako garudayevata shakrakamau. So Garuda and Sesha and Rudra are of same. They are same type of same category they are in. Okay, so Rudra in next Brahma Kalpa he will become Sesha. Basically, whatever you saw here, right? Like Latavya, Rudra will be here. He will come out here as Sesha in the next one. So they are both same only. Okay, but in today, whoever is the Sesha today, he will become Mukta, and Rudra will become Sesha. Similarly, Latavya is there, he will become Vayu, Vayu become Brahma, the current Brahma becomes Mukta. Okay, so that's why Acharya says Pavanasya Rudraha Seshatmakaha. Seshatmaka means similar to Sesha only. And then Garuda. All these three jivas, right? All these Rudra, Sesha, Garuda, they are Abhasa of Pavana. Okay, Abhasa means Pratibimba of Rudra, of Pavana, Vayudeva. And of these, Kama is that of Sesha, actually Rudra also, and Indra is of Garuda. Okay, and then they are the Bimba, Pratibimba Bhava is there between them. So Vishnu is the Bimba, Vayu is the Pratibimba. When Vayu is the Bimba, Rudra, Sesha, Garuda are the Pratibimbas. When Sesha is the Bimba, Kama is the Pratibimba. So this is the thing that is told in the male chain. And then in the female one, he basically says Vishnu, see, this is the important point. Lakshmi is also Vishnu's Pratibimba. Okay. And she is infinitely, many crore gunas they say, but it is basically we are saying infinitely superior to Vayu or Brahmadev. Her reflections are Saraswati Bharati, and their reflections are Sauparni, Varuni, Uma, and of theirs are all the other female deities, Shatarupa, many of them, right? Finally, Ganga, all these rivers also, or even Prithvi, right? Earth, all of them are Bimba, they have this Bimba Pratibimba relation. Does anybody want to take a guess on what is the Bimba Pratibimba? What does it mean? What does Bimba Pratibimba Bhava mean in Shastra? Or what is it you think it is Bimba Pratibimba mean? It means reflection only, right? If I stand in front of my mirror, right, it means that my reflection is there. That is the Pratibimba. I am the Bimba. So how do you use this example to understand this particular concept here? It says Vayu is Vishnu's Pratibimba. Vishnu is standing in front of some mirror, and then Vayu is the reflection there. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is the first Pratibimba.
has
But
some
What is this
flaws.
light then? What is the light which is getting reflected? What is that mirror which is getting reflected? See, in Bimba Pratibimba, right? When you have there is one entity, there is one mirror, and then there is another reflection that is coming out there. So there are three things that are involved here. And
in the
there is
physical
light also.
universe.
Four things are involved. Light is also involved because light is the one which is getting reflected there. So what is the equivalent here? And what Vishnu is sitting somewhere and Vayu is in one place, right? Why can't Vishnu's reflection be me? So what does reflection, bimba, pratibimba mean?
Now, all these laws of physics are in the physical world.
Okay.
Reflection, mirror, etc.
Okay. What does it mean here then? Why are we calling this as bimba, pratibimba relationship here?
Can we say it's because of the bigger pratibimbas are having more gunas, the lesser ones are having the lesser gunas of Vishnu itself, which are reflections of Vishnu's infinite gunas. They are finitely reflected inside these other souls.
Very good. So you are now basically, you are meaning that this reflection is not physical reflection. It means similarity in the qualities.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. Anybody wants to take a guess on this one? What does bimba pratibimba mean? How do you explain this bimba pratibimba?
Pratibimba actually depends on bimba for its. Pratibimba depends on bimba. For example, so only if I move my hand, only in pratibimba, then we can see the hand is moving.
Yes. Bimba kriyayaiva kriyavan. Correct. Then, so that is exactly what is told in the Brahma Sutras. If you come to them, this is the main idea. What does bimba pratibimba bhava mean? Basically, pratibimba is different from bimba. Pratibimba is similar to the bimba, and pratibimba is always under bimba's control. Okay, whatever was told just now, right? I raise my hand, then only the reflections hand also raise. It is not like there is a physical real reflection or anything like that. Then only all these questions come. In fact, that is how I used to think that, Vishnu is there, then he gets reflected as Vayu and in Vayu and in Brahmadevaru, and they get reflected again in, Garuda Sesharudra. It's not like that. Bimba pratibimba bhava means tad bhinnatve sati tad sadrishyam, kinchit sadrishyam. Okay? Or tad niyamakatve sati tad sadrishyam. Basically, when all these three things are together, all these three things are there, either it is bhinna and it is little similarity is there. Okay? Kinchit sadrishyam. See, Vishnu is infinitely happy. All of that, Ananta Ananda is not reflected in Lakshmi or in Chaturmukha Brahma. It is only a little bit. Similarly, when it goes to the next level, again, it reduces in its quality or in the quantity, both. Right? And that is why the sadrishya or the similarity or the resemblance is little bit. That is why it is called kinchit sadrishya. Okay. Now, this kinchit sadrishyam is also there, and then the bimba is always under pratibimba's control. Okay. So then to explain this kind of relation between two entities, the Shastras use the word or the phrase bimba pratibimba bhava. Okay. Other schools of thought also have a bimba pratibimba bhava. Okay. Advaita school also has a bimba pratibimba bhava. But that is not same as whatever we are talking. It is slightly different. It is actually quite different from whatever we are talking about here. Okay. So Acharya mentions this, and then, so see here, I will now switch over to the other one. So he says basically there are these reflections are what do you call, they diminish by shataguna, they say that. Okay. So shatagunaha, for example, Rushyadayaha. Here, if you notice, Indra, other devatas are reflections of Indra and Kama. The Rishis are reflections of these devatas. Okay, which means that reflection, when I say, they are different, they have a little bit resemblance, and they have what do you call, they are in their control. So that little bit resemblance means what? By a grade of 100. That is the meaning of that little bit. What does that 100 mean? Anybody wants to take this one? Shataguna. What does, for example, when you say Rudra is Shataguna, that of Indra, what does it mean?
100 times, does it refer to?
Is it into 100 or is it plus 100?
Into 100.
Into.
Power of 100.
Power of 100. Anybody else? So the answer is, at least from what Vajraja Swami writes in his Bhava Prakashika, it is 2 power 100. Okay? It is 2 power 100. So, and now imagine, Lakshmi is 1 crore gunas more than Brahmavayu. That is her capability, which means it is 2 power 1 crore. Right? It is just unimaginable. Right? And that is why Acharya says, right, these numbers are very large. In some cases, you will find that, for example, they mention that actually this one is actually seen within Taittiriya Upanishad and Brihadaranya Upanishad. They both mention, they both have a section on the Taratamya in Ananda. Okay, Anandasya Mimamsa Bhavati is the line it starts in both of them. Then they give a description. So some entities are mentioned in Taittiriya who are not present in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad description. Okay, and they are both said to be 100 times more, 100 times more, 100 times more, and all those things. So it is the way Acharya reconciles both these passages is by saying that in some cases you will find mention of 10. In some cases you will find that they are mentioned to be 100. If you find a conflict, you should simply take it to be the largest one over there, number one. And generally it also means that there is a lot of difference. That is the meaning there. It does not just exactly mean 2 power 100 or whatever it is. Okay, you have to do little more reconciliation and then say, okay, this is the actual number. And 100 is a way of saying, right? 100 times Noor Pattu Jasti, that's what they say in Kannada, right? It only means that he is much larger, much beyond the person's, the base, whatever is being compared with. Okay. So that's what Acharya says in this one here. Shatagunair dashato varishtha panchottarairapi yatha kramasha srutistha shabdo bahutva vachanaha. Basically, this, whatever you see, it is to indicate that there is multitude of difference, right? So 10 is the base, and you build on this particular base. Okay. So that is the meaning here. So that is how you can reconcile all the differences, he says. And then he says, Tesham Swarupam Idameva Yathotha. This is not an acquired thing. This is not an accidental thing, or this is not as of today. This is intrinsic. That's what he says. Okay. Muktavapi evameva satatocha vinicha rupaha. Even in moksha, this particular gradation between these souls will be retained. That's what he says, this thing. Okay. And then he goes, and then he says, I'm going to skip some of these lines so that you get the basic idea. I need to cover this entire chapter in another 2 sessions. Okay. So you will have to excuse me on how fast we go. I'm sure that, it will ignite your interest to learn this thing line by line under some qualified teacher. If that interest is ignited, my purpose is served, basically. Right. And yeah. So he says, even evam narottama parastu vimukti yogyaha. He says, still manushyottamas are vimukti yogyas. Anyecha samsruti paraha. All others are people who will be in, what do you call? Samsruti. Samsruti means samsara. Okay. And then, which is narottamas. Manushyottamas will be mukti yogyas. Manushya madhyamas are nitya samsaris. That is samsruti paraha. And then Naradhamas, starting from Naradhamas, including of Naradhamas, all the asuras are tamogaha. They are people who will go to andhatamas. Evam sadaiva niyamaha kvachidanyatana. Okay, this will never, this rule is not alterable. It never undergoes any alteration. It will remain as is. Okay. And then he says, how long will these mukti yogyas be in moksha? How long will they be in samsara? See, right now we are all in samsara, right? So are we samsara samsruti para, or are we mukti yogya? He says, till you finish your sadhana, okay, till then you will be in samsruti. Till then you will be in samsara. And this is true for both asuras as well as for the mukti yogyas. Okay. The mukti yogyas also have to finish their sadhana. For whatever, what is sadhana? Basically doing jnana, bhakti, vairagya, right? Getting full up to their capability, right? So whatever is their capability, that needs to be fulfilled. Then their sadhana is complete. And only then they will become eligible to go out of this samsara into their moksha. Similarly, for tamo yogyas, their papa has to get filled. Okay? Then their ajnana, their hatred for Vishnu, all of that has to become fulfilled. Then they will go into andhatamas. Okay, that is why if you see in Mahabharata, you will find there are many instances where Duryodhana gets the upper hand, so to speak. Why? It is part of the scheme to ensure that his sadhana should also happen. Why just mine and yours? His sadhana also has to happen, no? His sadhana is to do more dvesha. His sadhana is to do more papa. So God gives him the opportunities and he grabs them happily. Okay, and then he will do all those things, all those evil acts. So that is the reason why he is also in samsara and you are also in samsara. Your sadhana is not complete, his sadhana is also not complete. So the Lord gives an opportunity to do that thing. And if you take the position that even Nitya Samsaris have a final destination, their mixed state, right, where they are, they think of Vishnu as a superior, but not infinite. Okay, they think of Vishnu as, yeah, I mean, you know, I can tolerate him kind of thing, right? Then that also needs to reach its fullest potential. So that is why the moment you reach your fullest potential, you will be in samsara. That's what Acharya says this. And he says, see this one line. This is very important. Anandameva ganashosti yato hi tesham. Okay. We saw that, you know, there are these Brahma, the Devatas are Rujuganasthas. Then Rudra, Garuda, Sesha are the next level. Indra, Kama are the next level. Okay. There are other jivas in the middle, right? You have Ahankara Prana. You have Surya, Chandra, Yama. You can, I mean, if you search for the internet also, you'll find a lot of things on Taratamya, right? There are many charts on Taratamya. So all these jivas are there. If you take them as one Gana, Rudra Gana, or, you know, Ruju Gana, each of them, there are infinite jivas in each of these Ganas. So if you should look, have you people seen an abacus machine? Abacus machine, have you seen?
Only in movies.
1 minute, I'll just show you basically. It is like this. Take this one, okay? I don't know where that image went. Oh, there it is. So this is, let's say, Brahma. Okay, this is Garuda Sesha. You are able to see my mouse also, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we are able to see.
So there are infinite such jivas in each of the ganas. Okay, this is Brahma, Vayu, Latavya, Gavya, so on and so forth. There are 100 of them who have Sthula Sharira. 200 of them, actually speaking. They have their Sthula Sharira. Then Garuda, Sesha, Rudra, they are in this one. Okay. Then Indra, Kama are in this level. Then you have Ahankarika Prana. Then you have Surya, Agni, Yama, all of them here. Okay. Some of them are, there are multiple people in the same post or same role, not role, same Gana, same class per se. Okay. Same Kaksha. Now, so then let's say in Moksha, basically this Brahma goes off, then Vayu will become Brahma. In this one, Garuda Sesha will become Muktas. They will go off from this samsara. Then you will have Sunanda, I think, or Sumanas. And then current Rudra will become Sesha. Sumanas will become Garuda. And then Ugra Tapas will become Rudra then. Okay. Then Indra Kama is also there. So they will become Muktas. And then somebody else, you know, will take their positions there. So that is how each of them are filling a post. They are all filling a role. And then they will go to moksha from there. This is the, what do you call, this is how moksha happens. So there is no movement upwards. Garuda Sesha does not, or they do not become like Brahma or Vayu. There is no movement upwards. They can only move forward like this. Okay. Because they are not inherently capable of becoming a Ruju. Okay. So that is why Acharya works, they call Brahmatva Pada Yogyaha Rujahavaha. Okay. Whoever is capable of becoming Brahma, they are called Rujuganasthas. Similarly, there are Garuda Sesha, are two of them over here. Okay. And you will have Indra Kama and then all these other jivas out there. So what Acharya is saying is this is an infinite thing here. Each Gana, each Kaksha has Ananta jivas over there. So Srushti will always be happening and people will be going into moksha. It is a never-ending activity. That's why he says, Anantyameva Ganashostin Yatohi Tesham Ittam Tataha Sakala Kala Gata Pravrittihi. Therefore, this is a never-ending thing. People will come, fill their roles, do their sadhana, move to moksha. The next batch will come, they'll do their sadhana, they'll complete their sadhana, and then they will go. Right now, the next batch is also here. Okay? Some of them have sthula shariras, some of them have sukshma shariras only. Okay? So then Acharya goes to say that, etaihi sura. Now, the most important point is, so this is the, then he says, which is the, when all devatas, okay, all put together, evam etaihi, such high ranking devatas, such infinite potential devatas. Brahmas, for example, Rujuganas potential is infinite. Okay, they have infinite Ananta Jnana. They have. Their Jnana does not cover every aspect of Vishnu, obviously. Their Jnana does not cover even Lakshmi for that matter, but they are still infinite. Okay, and they can meditate on all the infinite gunas told in the infinite Vedas. At every moment they can do that. Such is their capability, the Rujuganas capability. Even them, okay, and Lakshmi and all these people, when all of them put together with their extreme capabilities, okay, yuktairhi, okay, pratibha atipatibadhi yuktaihi yuktai sahaiva satatam pravishintayadbhi. When they all sit together and plan and then say, we will meditate and find out about this particular quality of Vishnu, okay, they will still not be able to find the end of even an infinitesimal part of one guna of Vishnu. What does this mean? Vishnu, for example, let's say Lakshmi and Brahma and all these people, okay, they all plan together saying that, okay, let's understand Ananda. I will start from this end, you start from the here, and then let's try to get to the end. Even if they try to, I'm just putting it like a story, okay, as if Ananda is one continuum stream and they are continuous stream, and then they are starting from some point kind of thing. This is only to help you visualize, right? The concept is that with all their capabilities put together also, they cannot understand an infinitesimal part of one guna of Vishnu. Okay, and that is why it is Achintya Mahima of this Narayana. This is for one guna. Vishnu has infinite gunas himself again. Okay, and such Vishnus, such a high Paramatma Vishnu, how can anybody be equal to him? Or how can you say that somebody will become mukta and become equal to him? Okay, samyam nachasya paramena cha kena chapyam. How can anybody become like him? Okay, neither by mukta nor by anybody else. It's not like I can give a boon to you, right? I mean, if can Brahma give vara to anybody else, not just Hiranyakashipu, anybody else? Okay, you will become like Vishnu. Let's say if they do that, will they become like Vishnu? They cannot. They are fundamentally, there is a problem, which is that we are all fundamentally small beings. To make us infinite means to destroying us and then creating another infinite. That's why God does not try to make us infinite. God tries to make us complete to the level that we are. Okay? And that's why all other, what do you call, sentences or the utterances in the Veda or in any place, which seem like saying that, they will all become like Vishnu, or, all gods are equal or things like that. They are all, Acharya says in later that, it is all false. He'll give the reason for that. But what he does from now on is, he basically says, whatever he has told about Vishnu, he says, Arthoyameva nikhilairapi vedavakyaihi Ramayanaihi Sahita Bharata Pancharatrahi. This is the evidence. I am not saying this thing on my own or because I like Vishnu. I'm not trying to project him as one supreme being. This is the conclusion of all Veda Vakyas, all Ramayanaihi. See the Ramayanaihi, plural is there. Why? Because there are multiple Ramayanas even within the accepted scripture. Not just Mula Ramayana. Ramayana is recounted in Mahabharata also. Okay, in one Markandeya and Yudhishthira, they have a discussion on Ramayana. Hanumanta will also tell a bit of Ramayana to Bhima. Okay, so Ramayana is told in multiple places. So Ramayana-ihi Sahita Bharata Pancharatraihi. Pancharatra is another class of granthas. Has anybody heard of Pancharatra? Panchatantra nahi. You must have heard of
Agamas. I have heard of Pancharatra. Pancharatra Agama.
What can you give me any texts that are there in Pancharatra Agama?
Yeah.
So you have
I've heard of this Ahirbudnya Samhita, that is
Ahirbudnya Samhita is one, okay,
part of that.
Any other work that you have heard which is Pancharatra, related to Pancharatra? So there are Narada Pancharatra is one very famous one. Lakshmi Tantra is another famous one, today's world. Satvata Tantra is also famous. Acharya gives many such tantras and samhitas. Okay, Maya Vaibhava Tantra. So all of them are Pancharatra granthas. They are all given to us by Hayagriva Rupi Paramatma. Okay, Anyaista Shastra Vachanaihi Sahatatta Sutraihi Nirniyate Sahridayam Harina Sadaiva. Very important point. All the Shastras are there, infinite Shastras are there. That this is the purport. This is the singular purport, that such a Vishnu, magnificent Vishnu, who is infinitely, who has infinite virtues, Kalyana Guna, who does not have any blemish, who does not have any flaw. He is the supreme most. Everybody is dependent on him. And then there is gradation between the jivas. All these things are, how will you figure out the, see, there are many Veda Vakyas, right? How will you know which Veda Vakya is, how will you find out the actual ultimate purport? So that also Bhagavan has helped us. He has created this Brahma Sutras, which is Nirniyate. You conclude this thing on the basis of Brahma Sutra. See, in the Madhva school, Brahma Sutras occupy the highest position as the Paravidya, as the, the highest scripture. Mahabharata is the highest when it comes to Prameya Granthas, but Brahma Sutra is the highest test for everything else. Because the Vedas reveal their true purport when you read it under the lens of Brahma Sutra. So, and Gita itself says this thing. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva Hetumadbhir Vinischitaihi. So he refers to the Brahma Sutras and says that you should use these Brahma Sutras to understand what is the purport of the scripture. And then, so Acharya first gives some tenets and then he tells what is the evidence for that. Right? Overall, he gives a generic statement which says that all Veda Vakyas are there, Ramayana, all these all these texts are the evidence for whatever tenets I have told. Now he gets into actually giving the paraphrasing the evidence. Why do we consider Vishnu as supreme? Right? He will give all these things here. Okay. So he has given the paraphrases. Okay. He has not given the actual sentences in all these cases. He has paraphrased them so that, everybody can read them, even if they contain Shruti and so on and so forth. Okay. So here, for example, Narayanasya Nasamaha. This will look like another sloka only. But if you read this one, what do you call the Tippani, you will understand that he is basically paraphrasing this thing called Nasti Narayana Samam na Bhutam na Bhavishyati Etena Satyavakyena Sarvarthan Sadhayamyaham Iti Bharata Vakyam Arthataha Sangrihnati. So this shloka you will find in Mahabharata and in in the Puranas. There is nobody who is equal to Narayana. Neither he was there, nor will be there. And through this correctful sentence, I will get whatever I need to get, or I will, I will be able to establish all other tenets, or I will be able to obtain all good things in life just by understanding that Narayana is supreme. This is told even in other Puranas. It is not just in Mahabharata, by the way. Okay. So see here, he told, no, Naita Drushak Pashabhavana Chaivya Bhavyam. Mahabharata Tatparya, you saw that thing there, right? He said there is nobody who will become equivalent to Vishnu in the, there is nobody equal to Vishnu in the past. There will be nobody equal to Vishnu in the future. Same thing is told even in the Veda. It will come to that one. Acharya will give that also. Here he first starts with the simpler one, which is the Purana Vakya, or which is the Mahabharata Vakya. Very clear, right? Nasti Narayana Samam na Bhutam na Bhavishyati. This line overrides any other Puranic line which says that Vishnu and Brahma and Rudra and all these people are same. Okay? Or at least you will have to admit that they are in conflict. Okay? We'll come to how to resolve this conflict, or which line will take more precedence over the other. We'll come to that in a minute. Then he says, Purushottamoham. This is Gita Vakya, right? You Jivakshare Hedigatosmi Tatu. Till here is the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. There he says this one, right? Yasmaksharam atitoham aksharaadapi chottamaha atosmi loke vejeta vedecha prahidaha purushottamaha. For whatever reason, for the reason that I am much beyond Kshara. Kshara means anybody who has a destructible body. Okay. See, all jivas are Anadi Anitya, means they are Swarupataha. They are essentially, they don't have any destruction. So when they are referred to as Kshara, Kshara means destructible. It means that they are referred as Kshara because their bodies are destructible. Our bodies are destructible. Okay. I mean, we all have birth and death. That is proof that our bodies are destructible, right? Akshara here in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, it refers to Lakshmi because her body is not destructible. Another important point, right? Rukmini, Satyabhama, Sita, Jayanti. There are many forms of Lakshmi, okay, which have during the Avatar Kal. How does their samapti happen? It happens again, I mean, Rukmini and Satyabhama, they jump into fire and they just vanish from there. People assume again, they self-immolated and then, like all other forms of Lakshmi or, all other wives. Jambavati and all these people also go there. Okay, they also jump into fire, but they will have to discard their bodies. Okay, because they are mortal. Lakshmi is immortal. Okay, this is told in the Shruti also. Dveva Brahmana Rupa Murtam Amurtam Cha. Okay, the Parabrahma has two expressions. One which is form and which does not have form. Murta, Amurta. Amurta is basically Yan Martyam. Whichever is available to sin is Murta. Whichever will not available to sin, where there is no sin happening, that is Amurta. And within that, there are two. Vayuhu Antariksham Cha. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says this. Okay. Antariksham is Avyakrita Akasha. Lakshmi is the Abhimani Devata there. So that form of Lakshmi, I mean that form of Parabrahma, which is basically the reflection of Parabrahma, which is Lakshmi, does not have any sin. Okay. So she is Avyakrita Akasha. That's why she does not, her forms are all indestructible. Therefore, she is called Akshara. Okay. For both of them, I am superior. I am superior to both of them, says Paramatma Krishna. Therefore, I am called in the Paurushaya Grantha and in Apaurushaya Veda, I am called as Purushottama. That's why. So again here, see, superiority is very clear. Vishnu Sarvottamatva is very clear here. Okay. Then Jivakshare, okay. Hedigatosmi, very clear there, right? Tato Anyadartam, anything other than me, this is again Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Vakyam, okay? Which is that Paramatma, anything that is other than Paramatma and his own consort, which is Lakshmi, everything else is subject to pain. Artam means subject to pain or misery. they would have been touched by misery at one point of time or the other. Okay, we saw this thing in Tattva Sankhyanam. Dukkhasprishtam tad asprishtam. Lakshmi is the only non-Paramatma, Paratantra person who is not touched by misery. Everybody else would have been touched by pain or sadness, at least for half a kshana. Brahma Vayu, they do not have it in, they are not permanent residences for, they do not have any of this pain and things like that. But even for them, for Ardha Kshana, there are instances where Ajnana comes or Bhaya comes. Okay, Ajnanam Chaturvaram Proktam, Dvivaram Bhayamevacha. Okay, twice they get Bhaya. This is the case with Brahma and other Rujuganasthas. So they are also touched by pain. Garuda, Sesha and Rudra, they will also have a lot of pain. Ashwatthama, for example, is Rudramsha, who is right now in pain. Right? He is moving around the earth because of a curse from Krishna himself. Right? So there is, all others are touched by pain. Okay? I sometimes feel that, we should tell these things to our children. Simply because, when I was a teenager, right, or like 20, 25 years old, I used to think that, that guy is cool, this is cool, that is cool, and things like that. What this shloka is telling is there is nobody who is totally cool all the time. Everybody is touched by pain one time or the other. The only real cool person is Vishnu and Lakshmi, of course. Right? So that's what this one says. So again, this is proof that superiority, Vishnu is superior to both of them. Okay? And then see here. Then he, now next one. Jivakshare hadigatosmi tatonyadhartam. Muktopasrupya. This is one of the Brahma Sutras. Okay. Muktanam muktopasrupya vyapadeshat. Nana vyapadeshat is the sutra that comes in Brahma Sutras. Okay. So what it means is he is the person, whoever holds this entire universe. Okay. Whoever holds this, all the earth and the heavens, he is the person he is the being who is called Atma. Okay. Allah. Shesha Allah. Shesha is also held by Vayu only, and then Vayu is eventually held by Vishnu. So the person, Yasmindyau Prithvir Antarikshamcha. Okay. The Shruti says this, the Atharvana Upanishad says this one. It says that whoever holds all this universe is the Atma Shabda. His name is Atma. So we all think Atma means self, ourselves, right? But Atma fundamentally means Paramatma. Please note this thing. In Shruti, Atma fundamentally means Paramatma only. And who has accepted this? Shankaracharya accepts this. In his Brahma Sutra Bhashya on the Jibhatyayatanam, which is, the first Adhyaya's third pada, first sutra, right? He accepts this himself. But he misses this point when interpreting all other cases. Okay? Atma means self. Atma has multiple meanings. It means self, it means body, it means the jiva, it means Chaturmukha Brahma, it means manas, and it also means Paramatma. But the primary meaning is Paramatma. If that meaning does not fit that context, then you go figure out other meanings. Atma eva bandhu ripuratmanaha. Okay, Gita Vakya. Tomorrow is Gita Jayanti anyway, right? Atma eva bandhu, Atma eva ripuratmanaha. One's own self is a good friend, one's own self is a bad enemy. Why? If you are in control of yourself, you are a good friend. If you are not in control of yourself, you are your worst enemy. That's what Gita says. What is this self here, Atma here? It refers to Manas. The Atma word refers to Manas here. Okay? In Kathopanishad, Atma Bhavati Gautama, he says this thing. Okay? There Atma is Chaturmukha Brahma. Okay? And Atmani Bidha Bhodaha. Okay, this is Bhagavata Vakya. Which is that, that is Vidya. Vidya Atmani Bidha Bhodaha. That which teaches the difference between different Atmas. What is Atma here? It is soul. But fundamental meaning is Paramatma. Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shvetaketo. it comes there, right? So Atma means then one who pervades everything, that who is all pervading and who has taken everything and who is Sukharupi, such is called Atma. Atma Shabda has many meanings, but they are all, and they refers to many gunas, but all gunas are, they refer finally to the Paramatma only. Okay? So here, Muktopasupyaha, there, such an Atma who is supposed to be the, the support of all beings, he is called Amrutasyaisha Setuhu. He is the support on which Amruta, that is the Muktas, also reside on. He is the bridge to immortality, to put it in exact words, which means that he lets you cross over, and then he is also Muktanam Paramagatihi. You must have heard this thing in Shruti, in Vishnu Sahasranam. That is, he is the highest destination for the Muktas, which means there is difference between Mukta and him, and there is also gradation. It is not like you become equal to him the way Visishtadvaitins say. You never become equal to Vishnu. They say that, in Ananda and some of these other qualities, they almost become like him. No. Muktanam Paramagatihi. There is a difference between a Mukta and him. Okay. And then Acharya goes to give other, Kutascha Kaschin Naneva Dharma Prathagatma Drighe Dityodeyohi. This is one of the Kathopanishad statements, which says that whoever sees a difference between Lord and his dharmas as Prathak, the dharma means qualities. When you see Vishnu is different and his qualities are different, if you say that they are different, they are separate, such a person will fall down the way water falls effortlessly on a mountain. From a mountain, how will water fall? It will come without any, it will overcome all blocks and it will ensure it will come down, right? Just like that, a person, whoever sees a difference between Lord and his attributes, okay, they all will fall like anything. They will fall like that water. Yaha nana iva pashyati. Whoever sees multitude in Vishnu, they will all come down like that. That is the meaning of that Kathopanishad Vakya. Neha nanasti kinchana. Yaha nana iva pashyati. Nana dharman prathak parvatat adhohi. That is the meaning of that Kathopanishad statement. So why is Acharya quoting this as reference? What is this a proof of? This is a proof of Sarvagata Bheda Vivarjit Atma. So the Upanishad is telling that he is like that. Okay. And then Abhasa, this is another Shruti. Okay. Abhasa eva prutagishata eva esha jivaha muktasya nasti jagato vishayetu shaktihi. So this is another Brahma Sutras. Abhasa eva cha, it says this thing. Pruthak upadeshat. There are Brahma Sutras which tell you that a jiva is abhasa. He is, even at his highest state in the moksha, he is just a reflection. Why is this thing told? Again, nobody can become equivalent to Vishnu or equal to Vishnu, right? And not only that, muktasya nasti jagato vishayetu shaktihi. A mukta does not have any capability to do he take up any role in the jagat. For example, once Brahmadev becomes mukta, he does not have any role in the creation process. Where is this thing told? Again in the Brahma Sutra itself. Okay. I'm forgetting that shloka. It's a very famous sutra. It will be here only 1 minute. Jagat Vyapara Varjam, correct. Om Jagat Vyapara Varjam Om. Okay, that is the sutra here. He does not have any role to play in the sutra. What does it again point out? Only Vishnu does all these three activities. Yato va imani bhutani jayante ye najatani jivante yam prayatyabhi samvishanti. The same person does all these three. It is not Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. That is also okay. In third adhyaya, we will see how that is also okay. Okay. But primarily it is Vishnu who does all these three things. That is what the Shruti tells. Shruti does not tell there are three people doing three different things. That is a sub-creation. The main creation is handled by one guy. And the same person handles both sustenance and destruction and other things also. All 8 types of things. Activities, he will handle that. 8. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Niyamana, Jnana, Ajnana, Bandha, Moksha. All 8 type of activities are handled by Vishnu. Okay? And Mukta does not have this capability. Matra Parosi, then I will stop with this one. Then there is more to be done after this one. Okay? I think we will, I will cover this line and then we will close it from here, because next one is, after that we will get into more of debate. So, he says, Matra Parosi Natute Mahimam Ashnuvanti. He gives that particular line there. I don't know whether you Nate Natute Ashnuvate Mahitvam Shadgunya Vigraha Supurna Gunaika Deha. These are all paraphrases from different scriptures. Okay. So see here. Vajraja Swami tells the pramana for this one. Okay. What is this one? Matra Parosi Natute Ashnuvate Mahitvam. This is a Veda Vakya. Paro matraya tanva vrudhana nate mahitvam anvashnuvanti. Okay. Here the Veda says, okay, see here, there is not, what do you call, all other people, right, they cannot reach your level of greatness, your majesty, your excellence. None of them can grade it. Because, and see here, Paro matraya tanva vrudhana, your vapu, your tanu has basically grown into all of these things. Okay. And that greatness, basically his tanu is also, basically this Vedic verse is telling that his tanu is infinitely pervading, and the tanu is same as having, is great mahima. I mean, basically there is no difference between tanu and mahitva. That is also to be noted here. And it says that Nate Mahitvam Anvashnuvanti, who there is one more line before this one. He has not given that. Basically, it says that Na jato na jayamano na jataha devaha paromatraya tanva vrudhana nate mahitvam anvashnuvanti. A deva neither is a deva who is already born, nor a deva who will be born. None of them can come anywhere close to your excellence. This is what is told in the Rig Veda. Okay, Paromatraya Tanva Vrudhana. So therefore, this shloka is basically telling that nobody can ever become Vishnu, okay, or become like Vishnu in this thing. And then there is Pancharatra Grantha, which gives us the Jitante Stotra. There he is called Shadgunya Vigraha. He is not just telling that he has gunas. Shadgunya is, Aishwarya, Ityadi, all those things. Right? It is also telling that that is his deha. His deha is also that gunas only. Okay? Shadgunya Vigraha. See here, Jadande Pundari Kaksha Purna Shadgunya Vigraha. Okay? And Tasya Supurna Gunaika Deha. Supurna Gunaika Deha. Tasya Priyameva Shiraha. Modo Dakshina Pakshaha. Pramodo Uttara Paksha. This is told in Taittiriya Upanishad. His form itself is happiness. Dakshina Paksha means Bhuja. Moda means happiness. He is Dakshina Paksha. Vishayaka Ananda is called Dakshina. From his right hand, he gives full Ananda, which comes out of Vishaya for us. So when I eat jalebi and I feel happy, it means Lord's right hand is taking his some act over there. Another one is Pramoda Uttara Paksha. Okay, anything that is internal is all Uttara Paksha. It is coming from his right hand. So his form is defined as a form of happiness. It is not like happiness is inside and the form is different. Okay. So Acharya gives all this proof to show Vishnu's supremacy is unparalleled. Nobody can ever reach there. And none of the other gods come there. They are all dependent on him. And he has given the pramanas here. What we will do in the next class is to go over conflicting pramanas and then see how Acharya has handled them. Now, in the next class, instead of going verse by verse like this, I will try to do a little bit of summarization, and so that we can move faster. Okay. With that, I will stop this thing here. We'll look at some of the questions that came in there. Sorry. What was
one quick question here, Acharya? When Madhvacharya says there's no one like Vishnu, a footnote or some addition saying that it is himself. I mean, he himself can be equal to him. Something like that is established because if you look at Dashavatara, they happen one after the other. So it is equal to him itself, right?
No, what does Dashavatara happened means what? First, wo batate hain.
As in, the chronology after.
But what does
Matsya,
it mean? Basically, it appearance only, no? See, when Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, they are all forms are eternal, right?
Yeah.
So when there is an equal to, right? See, I mean, at the end of it, we humans are used to seeing, one form and another form kind of thing. Head, eyes, we say that this particular set is a form. So when we say, one form is equal to another forms, he is basically saying that, they, what do you call? That is why form is different, tattva is different, okay? So they are all forms of the same tattva. Vishnu tattva, that is why Vishnu tattva is one. Rama, Krishna, Narayana, all these things are the forms. Vishnu, they are all the forms of that particular thing. Okay, the tattva is only one. Okay, so the question is, why does Krishna have to create this material body? Why did he not just disappear? So the answer to that is again told there only. Asuranam mohaya. Okay, I can open that thing also. 1 minute. Give me the. You'll have to give me a minute, please. I will. I have stored these files in some form, but I don't remember them now. You're able to see my screen, no?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
One minute. Then. Oh, I'm not able to get that shloka right now. 1 minute, just hold on. I'm not getting that maybe here in this particular one, but I can give you the reference in the next class for this one. But why does he do it? He does it for the sake of Asura Mohana only. Okay. So that is also part of his activity, right? Just like giving knowledge is one of his eightfold activities, giving ignorance also is one of his this thing, and he enables both of them. He creates the right circumstances for both the Mukti Yogyas and Tamo Yogyas. They will get attached to the negative activities, and then we should get attached to the positive activities. That is the idea there. How is that Madhvacharya refers back to Skanda Purana, which is the Tamasika Purana? So Acharya answers this question also, Sudhindra, in the next this one. He says that whichever is what is it? Deva Shastra Yogi Yat, whichever is Anukula to Veda, wherever it is, we can accept all of those things. What is the definition of Shastra itself is a different this one. But anyway, the point is that we don't discard anything wholesale as is, okay, except Pashupata Agama or something like that. Whatever is written by Veda Vyasaru is a pramana, okay, unless it conflicts the Veda. Okay, then we understand that he had a different intent over there. Okay, so we don't discard, we don't ditch the whole thing. I mean, whole scale discarding doesn't happen here. Okay, whichever is acceptable, which means whichever is in line with the Veda, that we accept. Okay, I hope that answers this thing. Bali had ego that he was giving alms to the Supreme. Yeah. I mean, he had other Asura Vesha also. Then it was not just about the ego part. It is not his jurisdiction to get into Swarga. See, the whole world is ruled by Vishnu. So Vishnu says Swarga is place Devas live, Patala is where these Asuras live, right? So if that is the dictum that the Supreme Lord has given, you abide by it. So Bali, he went over his jurisdiction and tried doing other things. That is why he had to do this thing. Okay. And yeah, extreme abstract vision, actual vision of Vishnu. He is the only and ultimate Lord. MBTN PDF kindly share. Dvaita net is not opening. Oh my God. Okay. I will share that thing in the Google Classroom.
I have one question on the Swagatapeda Virjita concept.
Sure.
So when we say that so any part is equivalent to the whole body of Vishnu. So why sometimes there are certain organs of him symbolizing certain things. For example, Abhaya Hasta, or maybe even in Purusha Sukta we have Bahu symbolizing strength.
Correct. Very good question. Very good question. So it is again more from our perspective. It is very, very purely from our perspective only. In our lives, we basically symbolize Bahu to represent strength. This particular position to represent, giving Abhaya, or this one to give Dana or Vara. So this is all from our perspective. These are called mudras, right? See, I mean, if you read communication theory, right? I mean, you will put some, for example, when you're sending one signal from one place to another place, right? You will put some header, footer, you will put some words there to indicate what is going to come into this one. So imagine that a similar communication is happening from Lord's from to us. Without using any words, he is trying to tell you something. And that is through keeping this particular mudras, that Shankha, Chakra, Vayahasta, Varahasta, Jnana Mudra, all these things are meant as communication to us. It is purely for us. It is that you are right. His form has no change, no difference at all. Does that answer your question, Prabhanjan?
Yes. Thank
you. Anything else, people? Otherwise, we can close this session for today. Okay. Akshayam karma yasmin pare swarpitam prakshayam yanti dukkhani annamatah aksharo yojara sarvadevamrutah kukshigam yasya vishvam sada jadikam prinayamo vasudevam devata mandala akhanda mandalam madhvesha krishnarpanamastu. Tomorrow Pratosha's class will be there. Okay. Ram Ram.
Ram Ram.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.